So this video is talking about the pre-assessment data that I had gathered for my football section. With this, in football, the main important things that you need to learn how to do is throw and catch the football in order to advance it down the field. And these were the selected objectives that I decided to observe and assess. The development of these pre and post assessment would solely be determined by the number of reps that the students had with the actual throwing and catching motions. The type of assessment that I decided to use, of course, is something that's kinesthetic, something that they them actually getting out and participating in the actual throwing, and utilizing the accuracy in which they threw the ball, and however many times they caught the ball without it hitting the ground. Questions, I use questions to kind of help them, remind them of cues. So when they threw the ball, I had a cue of, how do you release the ball? You flick the booger off of your hand. So that was the answer to that question. And how do you catch the ball if it's above your waist? You make a diamond. How do you catch the ball if it's below your waist? You put your pinkies together. These align to the objective because I'm in this particular section. I have to teach the kids. It's a team sports unit, so I have to teach the kids how to, like I said, advance the football down the field, as well as learn the rules for advancing the football down the field. If the learners are remote, then I had them utilizing Kahoot. I had them utilizing, any of those video recording websites so that they could still participate and show me their interpretation of what it was that I was asking. And the pros and cons, pretty much everything was fine. After COVID, everything kind of just flowed. I think I have a pretty good idea of how to teach those kids who are learning remotely due to COVID-19. The pre-assessment data that I did receive was based on them standing 10 yards apart and playing a game which I like to call 21. The higher, if you throw the football and they catch it in their face area, that was 3 points. And if they caught it at their chest, it was 1 point. Anywhere off of that line of sight, anywhere off the line of the midline of their body would result in 0 points. As I taught those lessons, that was how I used the assessments. After just learning how to throw and catch it accurately, my post-assessment was the same thing. So we did that at the beginning. We revisited it at the end, as well as doing a small, brief quiz to have the kids remind themselves of the verbal cues that went along with catching and throwing a football. Based on what I gained after the post-assessment, the adjustments that I would make would be to maybe discuss a little bit of the terminology and quiz them on the terminology beforehand and after, as opposed to talking to them about it, like the rules and the regulations during the lesson, and then writing it on the post assessment test. If students are learning remotely, I'm going to follow the plan that I followed with the students that are in class, because it is something that you can do with your, it's kinesthetic. All I would require would be, them to test with the Quizlet that I have, as well as them videoing themselves performing the activities that I had given to the people in class in person. So that is the pre and post test model that I used in my class. And I thank you for listening to my presentation.